Brand new episode. What? You always get excited whenever I do an intro. I'm gonna do a spoiler-free review of Mortal Kombat. Test your mate. Mortal Kombat! What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Cosplay Chris, and today it is a very quick little spoiler-free review of Mortal Kombat, the 2021 reboot of the video game franchise. Now, we know that this particular franchise in terms of film adaptations has not had the best run. We had 1995's Mortal Kombat and then 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which pretty much buried the franchise in terms of film adaptations, and since then, the franchise has been in development hell. Cut to 2 years ago, we had production here in Australia, in Adelaide/South Australia, for Mortal Kombat that was going to be coming out in 2021. Cut to 2021, here we are, the film is out. So again, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, just my quick little thoughts. But firstly, I want to give a massive shout out to Warner Brothers/Warner Brothers Australia for sending me to the premiere here in Sydney at Fox Studios. Had an amazing night. Josh Lawson, who plays Kano, along with Sissy Stringer, the director and the producer, introduced the film. They were amazing and they did a meet and greet after the film. So the basic premise of the film, we start off with an MMA fighter by the name of Cole Young, played by Lewis Tan, who's accustomed to taking beatings for money, but is unaware of his heritage or why Outworld's Emperor Shang Tsung, played by Chin Han, has sent his best warrior Sub-Zero, played by Joe Talisman, an otherworldly cryomancer, to hunt Cole down. So Cole, fearing for his family's safety, goes in search of Sonya Blade at the direction of Jax, Special Forces Major, who bears the same strange dragon marking that Cole was born with. Soon, Cole finds himself in the temple of Lord Raiden, an elder god and the protector of the Earth Realm, who grants sanctuary to those who bear the marking. Here, Cole trains with experienced warriors like Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and rogue mercenary Kano, played by Aussie actor Josh Lawson, as he prepares to stand with Earth's greatest champions against the enemies of the Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe known as Mortal Kombat. So like I said, the previous films exactly hadn't had the best run. They've kind of gone into those categories, it's so bad it's good. And I can safely say that Mortal Kombat 2021 is brilliant. It's a brilliant interpretation of these beloved characters, their mythology, and paying respects to that mythology. Like I said, the film was shot here in Australia, in Adelaide/South Australia. And when I was watching the film, I could tell the cast, the crew, everyone gave a shit. So much work has been put into this production. The costumes are beautiful, the visual effects are beautiful, the actors physically look beautiful. They have put in the hard yards physically to transform themselves into these warriors, into these characters that we know and love. Hands down, the scene stealer for this film is Josh Lawson as Kano. He's an Aussie actor and he's a comedian. He's been in Anchorman 2, but my God, the improv that he does in this film is brilliant. And like I said, he came out and introduced the film at the premiere on Tuesday evening. He was a top bloke, stellar performance in the film. He's an absolute natural as Kano, and it's one of those things where you don't associate Josh Lawson and Kano, and he even acknowledged that on his Instagram the day that his casting was announced, and he even touched on it when he introduced the film. He said, "I'm the last person that you expect to see in this film as Kano," because he's, you know, a goofy Aussie comedian, but my God, he pull it off. Now, we know with a lot of video game films that story, plot, story arcs, stuff like that don't really matter, but I was pleasantly surprised by how the story was structured, and a story arc at the end of the film that took me by surprise, and it really worked and it paid off. Like I said, there's a spoiler-free review, so I won't go into that certain story arc, but it'll leave you pleasantly surprised. And it's quite refreshing to have such a heartwarming story arc in a video game adaptation, if that makes sense. Now, I have only really one gripe with the film, and it's not even really a gripe, it's just I wanted to see more. The runtime of this film is 1 hour 50, and I really think it needs a 2.5 hour runtime, maybe 2 hours 45. It did feel a little bit choppy at times, and the only reason why I say that is because we're setting up these characters and then all of a sudden it jumps to a new character or a new scene, and I just felt like they needed a little bit more explaining of setting up this character's story arc or the mythology, their background, where they come from, or what's to be expected of them. Again, not really a gripe, it just left me wanting more. I feel like there's a director's cut or an extended cut somewhere there. Surely there would have been so much more footage shot, but there might have been a mandate where they had to keep it under a certain time, or they just had to wrap things up quickly. But I just felt that these characters, because they're so beloved and so well renowned, they needed more explaining. Now at the end of the film, it does set up a sequel. Won't go into specifics, but it definitely does set up a sequel and a bigger dive into the world of these characters, and I really want to see that. I want to see where these characters go, because like I said, everyone gave a shit on this production. You can just tell by the production design, the acting, the way the actors transform their bodies. Prime example, Mehcad Brooks, who plays Jax in the film. He is an absolute house of a unit in the film. Everyone looked like they trained their asses off and really just gave a shit. The director has put in the hard yards to make sure that the mythologies have been respected of these characters. Actually, probably one other little gripe, I just wanted to see more of Goro. I really want to see more of him in future films. I really think that the design of him, even though we only saw a very little short glimpse of it in the trailer, I just want to see more of him, man. And like, it's Goro. Goro's amazing. Costumes were beautiful. I'm obsessed with Sub-Zero's costume. I love it. I'm tempted to do like a tutorial on maybe 3D printing his mask or the hood as well, because I'm looking at the hood and I'm like, oh yeah, that's urethane, that's resin. So guys, overall, I had an amazingly fun time with Mortal Kombat 2021. Again, my only gripe is I just wanted to see more. I felt like it could have been a good solid 2.5 hours as opposed to its hour 50 runtime, but honestly, I'm not gonna let that get in the way or cloud my judgment with this film. Brilliantly executed, the characters were amazing, the mythologies were respected, production design is beautiful, the costumes are beautiful, and I obviously forgot to mention the gore factor. This film is rated R18 plus here in Australia. That usually equates to an NC-17 in the States. When we rate something R18 plus, we mean fucking business. And it is so warranted. It is so gory and bloody, this film. It's brilliant. It's one of those things where the gore would happen on screen. In that case, when I don't know what to do with myself, I just burst out laughing. I'm like, oh my God. Whoa. But yeah, the gore is absolutely beautifully executed, and it's Mortal Kombat, man. You can't have Mortal Kombat without gore. It's just the way it goes. So that being said, I'm gonna be giving Mortal Kombat 2021 4 geeks out of 5. So guys, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts once you've seen Mortal Kombat. Was it everything you expected? Tell me, what was your favorite character? Do you want to see more of this rebooted world that has been created? Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Wherever you're on the world, have yourselves an absolute cracker of a day. I hope you're well, hope you're happy, be merry, be silly, and until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.